shift is here, you see. We stand on the edge of destiny.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Crumbs with Stephanie, my personal wisdom and experience with spirituality, what works for me. And today I want to talk about something that I've struggled from the time I was very young. And it's called a coping. Now, before you get programmed by a therapist to cope by doing grounding work or visualizations or, journaling and such healthy ways, that also is just a cope, by the way. The truth of the matter is, coping is a survival term only used to help you at the moment when you need it. It's like an emergency kit, because you need to cope to survive, and it is a survival skill to deal with trauma and such, that so you can manage life and be present enough to get through. When it becomes maladaptive coping, which I have developed because I didn't know how to work through my trauma. I never had any help for that. My family was not supportive of my mental health and spiritual needs. So I had to discover this on my own through the last straw kind of falling ill in a more long-term way, where I had to go through self-discovery to find out why I couldn't make it through life, and I couldn't cope, so to speak. I couldn't function. I went spiraling down to the point where I was at that point where I was looking for any answers to deal with what was in front of me that I did not recognize as a problem. I just thought it was my personality, which it isn't. When you are traumatized and you have post-traumatic stress, depression, and such, a mental illness as well, but a person can be traumatized in events and not be ill at all, but still cope. And when you cope, you box it into a little place in your mind, and you don't want to deal with it. So you box it up and say, oh, I'm going to do something else to deal with the pain. And that could be food, which is very common. People go ahead and seek food out to fill the hole that they're experiencing with a separation, which is the ultimate trauma, to be separated from your higher self, spirit. So that's one. And then there's traumas, childhood traumas to current traumas that you are trying to survive from, that will, so you can function in today's world and keep moving forward. So you box it up and you find comfort in food, you find comfort in sex, you find comfort in drugs, you find comfort in anything, collecting, hoarding. A lot of people hoard because they lost something, because they need to have things. So they put this emotion that they're suffering from onto an object. So there's many different ways that people are coping. Why? Why is this maladaptive now? Because it impedes your life. It interferes with your quality of life and becomes harmful to you. So my maladaptive coping was food and daydreaming. I couldn't function day to day and be present in a conversation even, because I would be, while you were speaking, dreaming. That's the way my mind had to survive all the trauma that accumulated to that point where I couldn't function on a day-to-day basis without being in the dream world. And the quality of my life was very low, to the point where I lost myself most of the day. I would use music as well to shut out the noise, to use it in a, like, it put me in a trance to even daydream more. And so this was a coping skill that I was avoiding pain. I was avoiding all this illness coming forth, bombarding my mind. I'm also an intuitive empath, born intuitive empath with, unfortunately, genetic mental illness. So, being that combined, coping was my only mechanism for trying to survive in this world. And it became maladaptive to me. It became something that kept me from really true identity, true truth, spiritual growth, healing. And that is the ultimate thing to change the maladaptive coping effect on your life, is to finally heal from the trauma, from the pain. And how you do that is simply by shadow work. And in the spiritual community, shadow work is essential. It is for growth. It is to get mindful and awareness that there is something you're holding on to. And once you face your darkness, you can address it. First, you have to be aware of it. And to accomplish that, you have to go into mindfulness, which is meditation, with intention to heal. There's many meditations you can be focusing on. But to heal from maladaptive coping, the intention has to be set to heal. Mind, body, and soul. And when you go in with intention to do that, you will get insight. You will become self-aware when things come up, like post-traumatic stress, like when your ego comes up to, claim, emotionally into something. So, shadow work, it helps you to identify the problem by self-awareness. And once you become aware of your shadow, your struggles, your pain, your trauma, you can address it properly in meditation, but also journal, keep track, so that eventually you can cross it off if it no longer affects you emotionally, mentally, and you find that you finally have forgiven. You can heal inside by accepting what happened, pulling in the healing vibrations about it. And that's what you set the intention. I want to heal. Vibrational healing. 528 is the frequency. You can associate that together or incorporate together. Use frequency. Use candle work, which is color, the healing. There's blue and green associated with the healing. So both colors are one or the other. You can do crystal work, which amethyst for the mind, and healing in general. This is the blue, that's what I was talking about, because that's indigo color, and also amethyst is the gem element. It's a focus. These are tools to help you focus, to apply your inner divinity empowerment and to get to your goal and results. So I will cover tools to help you heal in the following video. I will put it up. All the tools that helped me, I will share with you. Now, so candle work, crystal work, incense even, these are focus tools that keep you on track, present, and getting in touch with your higher self to accomplish this healing. Setting intentions also. Intention setting is key. You have to do that in the beginning. And also create a sacred protective space. So you also, while you're in the state of meditation, you don't want any negative stuff to get in your space and impede your ability to heal. Whether it be thoughts or vibrations. So protect yourself always. Setting your intentions and boundaries spiritually. Creating your sacred space. Using the tools for focus. They focus your energy and manifest. So I'll go over that. The tools. Shadow work, journal. Keep track. Bye. This is it. This is what I want to focus on while you're in meditation to confront your pain. See your shadow as you in that pain. Accept the event, but it's not like you condone what happened to you. It's like you accept it. Like, this happened, okay? I'm not avoiding. Avoidance is not the way. When you accept it, you see it. I see you. I see you, shadow. I see that you're there. And it is your responsibility and mine to confront that and say, I had held that in me, whether unconsciously or consciously, and it's hurting me. It keeps coming up in triggers. That's another way you can identify, instead of being run by your triggers and acting out and just reacting to it. Meditation brings self-awareness to say, hey, there's something wrong. And when you realize something's wrong, is awareness, and this is it. Whether it's by past trauma or something that is currently bothering you. But usually it's past trauma, something you've suffered in the past, maybe associated with a current situation that brought that trauma to the forefront. So you have to face that instead of boxing it up. Avoidance. Coping only works for a little while for a survival moment, but is not the solution. Facing your pain is the only way, and it takes a lot of work. And feeling it, sitting with it. When you sit with your pain, you acknowledge it. And then you can forgive yourself, which is ultimately what you must do. For being in that situation, for holding it in, because you're not ever in victimhood. That's what keeps people down, keeps people in this mindset that keeps them ill and affected negatively. But if you face it, if you feel it, acknowledge it, forgive yourself and others, even a perpetrator that may have, done things to you. It is a way to heal. It is a way to let go and finally get the victory and overcome the challenge that you had to face. And it is for personal growth, for spiritual healing, that brings the growth. And maybe even to settle karmatic debt. And when you recognize a pattern also, that is a karma-related issue, because there will be a pattern that will be suddenly in your awareness, like, oh, this is going on. And the predominantly players in my life are doing this. You can cut contract with that. You can write a contract down and burn it, which I suggest because that's what I did. Abuse was the theme I struggled with constantly. I had 5 major players of abuse in my life. And usually 4 or 5, you really got to understand that is your karma. And getting that self-awareness is empowerment, and you can face that and help release it. Because that's what you want to do ultimately, is release the karma that you are faced with in this lifetime. And ancestrally coming in, whether it's sicknesses to mental illness, of all kinds of sicknesses that are predominantly you are facing, is usually ancestral, which is in your DNA, genes. They're coming up. Because it's a frequency also that is in the lineage. It needs to be addressed. You need to cut contract with it. You can write down these contracts, like I said, and burn them. And say, I choose. And that's the thing. The key is to speak to your reality and say, I choose to align with love, peace, joy, healing, prosperity. You can do kindness if you struggle. Kindness, goodness, meekness, temperance. And that's a biblical concept that Jesus was trying to put into the consciousness of people. That's why it's a Christ conscious level. He was about healing, divine healing. And divine healing is the embracing your higher conscious, your Holy Spirit, higher self into your body to finally allow that control rather than your ego. Give it over. Surrender to it. And easy. The more you try hard is when you're really you're going to struggle. And it's the solar plex is the allowing. It is just saying, I surrender to my higher self, because that's my power to the divine. And when you pull that in your body every day with affirmations, things will change. You'll see your life change for the better. And the point is persistence and practice. Persistence and practice. Never give up, because this is your soul. This is your development. This is your life. This is what you're put here for, is to learn and to evolve. And you have to practice. It's like a muscle that needs to be, exercised. It is something that we don't do normally unless you are born with some kind of gift that gets you moving ahead of everybody, which you have developed in the past life. So, in conclusion and summary of this video, coping doesn't work anymore. And you usually find that. And you overuse, or you go to something that could harm you even more. So it becomes maladaptive. And the way to heal this is shadow work. You can look up shadow work. Carl Jung is the author of shadow work. It is highly successful if you are doing it in a mindful, practicing way. So, I wish you love, light, and healing on your endeavor spiritually, just like me as I go down this road with you. So you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now, for now.